Everything about this season is insane, but the awards are next level. I mean, COVID and injury knocked out Kevin Durant and LeBron James out of MVP talk. Now, Chris Paul is getting buzz at 16 points a game, but the toughest decision will be the All-NBA backcourt. There are so many guards around the league that deserve a spot. Just the guards deserve their own video because people will get heated about these snubs. Yo, it's KC. Welcome to AM Hoops. Hit subscribe if you like this video. Be a member if you love this video and you want to get a shout out like Orlando Arango and Zach Banks. So before we get to my 6 All-NBA guards, you gotta understand how underrated All-NBA is. We make such a big deal out of All-Stars like it isn't a popularity contest. All-NBA is really about the best players by skill in the world. In case you didn't know, the best players in the world make up one starting roster, regardless of conference. So it's like 1 center, 2 forwards, 2 guards, like some fantasy team. And unlike the All-Stars, it's not watered down by injury replacements or conferences. If we're talking about a player's legacy, we should be looking at how many All-NBA teams he's made, because that is a true reflection of how good he was. It also makes a financial difference, big time. Like if Donovan Mitchell makes All-NBA, he'd be eligible for a Supermax, so tens of millions of dollars hang in the balance. Again, All-NBA guards is so tough this year. If you haven't picked your first, second, and third teams, try it. You'll see. Now, I will release my full All-NBA rosters, but my official guards with just a few games to go are first team, Steph and Luka, second team, CP3 and Damian Lillard, and third team, Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. That means my snubs are James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, Russell Westbrook, Jaylen Brown, Kyrie Irving, Trae Young, Zach LaVine, Mike Conley Jr., Drew Holiday, and Ben Simmons. The way I see it, any argument comes after the locks, and my locks are Steph, Luka, Dame, and Chris Paul. I don't care what the numbers say, Steph Curry has played like an MVP with how bad the Warriors are without him. The same goes for Luka to a lesser extent. I mean, I did a whole video about why the Mavs are so bad, but Luka is their entire offense. It's a shame that both of my first team locks are on mediocre basketball teams. Damian Lillard has great numbers at 28.7 assists, but like Steph, watching his game is key. He is clutch every night he's not injured, as usual. Chris Paul is my last lock because he is the one-man rebuilding plan. It's not just that he leads young teams or he's some coach on the court. He is great at playing basketball. An efficient, clutch, 16 points, 9 assists for the number 2 seeded Suns, which still sounds weird to me. Bradley Beal and Devin Booker make up my third team. Beal is leading the NBA in scoring, and he has been so good all season, and this is an all-season award. I know Russ is on a tear and the Wizards are winning, but if any DC guard deserves a spot, it is Beal. The Wizards are +5 with Beal on the court, but they're still worse with Russ at -2.4 points per 100. And if you see anyone not put Bradley Beal on their All-NBA list, ask them why they have Steph Curry. Steph is also on a losing team, just like Beal, but somehow Curry is a lock and Beal leading the NBA in points is not? I chose Devin Booker for my last spot because I'm not afraid to put 2 Suns guards on the same team. They deserve it, and Booker is their leading scorer with improved defense. With CP3 and Cam Payne handling the ball, Booker is freed up to focus more time on D. He's actually been better than one of my snubs, Jaylen Brown, this year. That says a lot because Brown has been labeled a defender and Booker has been labeled a negative on that end. But I don't blame Jaylen Brown because he is carrying the load offensively with Jason Tatum. And that's what happens. Now that Booker isn't Superman every night, he has become a more well-rounded player. Now about the snubs. I put a poll on the AM Hoops community tab and I was legit surprised. You guys had James Harden as All-NBA in a landslide. Look, I get that he was an MVP candidate before his injury, but he's only played 42 games, 8 of them with the Rockets, where he was the LVP. So let's call it 34 total games. Less than half a season? I can't put a guy who played meaningful games for half a season over someone like Devin Booker, who's been a beast all year. I'd put Kyrie over James Harden if anything, but neither guy makes my list. Kyrie has been amazing, but he took 2 weeks off for personal reasons, whatever that was, and his defense ain't great either. If this comes down to a close pick, I'm going with Booker. And you know, the actual snub here is Donovan Mitchell. This dude has scored about 26 points per game, hitting 39% from downtown for the #1 seed in the West. A lot of people have him on their all-NBA teams, and I don't blame them. I just left him off because Rudy Gobert is actually this team's MVP for what he brings on both ends. I'm not just talking about points. Rudy's passing has improved a lot this season. Mike Conley has been almost as good as Spida Mitchell, and they're still blowing teams out without Spida injured. This sounds like I am hating on Mitchell, but I'm not. He is actually my first man out. Russell Westbrook is another guy I know will get all-NBA votes, but the one thing that holds him back is it's about the whole season. We get caught up in the moment and we forget everything that happened before. Russ has been amazing this last month or so because he has upped it defensively. Suddenly the dude's Bruce Bowen on defense. At one point he had 18 triple-doubles in 23 games, an NBA record. I am not disrespecting the triple-double. I'm just acknowledging he was not this dude the last 3+ months, and overall, DC is worse with him on the court. You might think I'm crazy for putting Drew Holiday and Mike Conley on my snubs list, but they are the classic example of an underrated player who is key to a really good team. The Jazz and Bucks would be totally different without these dudes running point. We know how good Drew is on defense. Mike Conley, though, is proving himself there again. Conley has the #1 defensive rating in the NBA among qualified guards. He's been elite. Both guys are legit, underrated snubs for All-NBA. If you choose to comment, please put your 6 All-NBA guard selections because someone's got to get knocked out for someone to be included. It is a tough list, but my favorite award every season. If you want to see my full ballot, click up here. But until I post that tomorrow, check this out, my play-in predictions with just a few games to go.